Total Sports Zone. All sports, all action, one zone.
You know, the NASCAR Cup Series has got to be one of the most demanding sports on the planet. I mean, it's a grueling season of nonstop travel, sponsor commitments, and just intense pressure on the track. So how do these elite drivers ever disconnect and recharge? Well, you'd be surprised. For a lot of these guys, unwinding looks a whole lot like their day job.
So what do you picture? Kicking back on a beach somewhere, right? Taking it easy? But what if their way of unwinding is actually just as intense, if not more so, than their day job?
Because the thing is, for these drivers, that competitive fire, it never really goes out. It just finds a new arena. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to explore those other arenas by counting down the top 5 most surprising off-track passions of NASCAR's very best.
All right, let's dive right in. Kicking things off at number 5, we've got a true Hall of Famer.
That's right, we're talking about Dale Jarrett. And believe me, long before he was winning the Daytona 500, he was mastering a very different kind of drive. And look, this wasn't just some casual weekend hobby. Jarrett was actually a seriously skilled golfer back when he was a teenager. I mean, good enough that colleges were looking at him for golf. And even when his racing career was at its peak, he never gave it up. You'll still see him out there today, tearing it up at charity tournaments with a swing that's just as sharp as ever.
Okay, coming in at number 4, this is a driver who's all about the great outdoors.
Yep, we're talking about Martin Truex Jr. For him, escape isn't about the fairway, it's about being out on the water or deep in the woods.
And this passion goes way back to when he was a kid. He's a huge fisherman. Doesn't matter if it's freshwater or saltwater, he's there. And he's a passionate hunter too. I mean, this is so core to who he is that it just makes perfect sense that he works with brands like Bass Pro Shops, companies that are all about conservation.
All right, we're cracking the top 3 now. And this is where the hobbies start demanding a whole new level of skill and some pretty serious calculated risk.
So at number 3, we've got Chase Elliott. And get this, when he's not in the cockpit of his race car, he's in a totally different kind of cockpit, thousands of feet up in the air.
Yeah, he followed in his dad's footsteps, but Chase took it to another level. He didn't just get his pilot's license, he's also certified to fly helicopters. And for him, it's all about that precision, that intense planning and concentration. You know, the exact same skills you need to translate from a runway to a racetrack.
Okay, our runner-up. This guy is an absolute master of strategy, both on the track and off.
At number 2, it's Denny Hamlin, and he finds his competitive edge at the poker table.
For Hamlin, poker is the ultimate mental game. I mean, think about it. It takes strategy, tons of patience, and the ability to read your opponents under crushing pressure. Sound familiar? It's basically a race on felt. And he's not just playing for kicks either. He's gone head-to-head with some really skilled players and has walked away from Vegas with wins of over 200 grand. Not bad.
And now, for the number 1 spot. The most surprising, and you could absolutely argue, the most demanding hobby in all of NASCAR.
It belongs to the 7-time champ himself, Jimmie Johnson. And his hobby? It's not a game. It is a grueling, brutal test of human endurance.
So check out this timeline. It shows you how a simple cross-training routine just spiraled into a full-blown obsession. Back in 2012, get this, he ran a major race less than 12 hours after finishing the Coke Zero 400. Who does that? From there, he started winning triathlons in his age group, competed in a half Ironman, and then, eventually, he decided to take on one of the most famous races in the world.
3 hours, 9 minutes, and 7 seconds. That was Jimmie Johnson's time for the Boston Marathon. Just to put that into perspective for you, that is an elite time for any athlete, let alone a guy who races cars for a living. That just shows an absolutely incredible level of physical and mental stamina.
So, what's the common thread here? What connects all these hobbies? It's pretty obvious these aren't just random pastimes, right? These are disciplines that sharpen the exact skills that make these guys champions on the track. I mean, the connection is crystal clear when you break it down like this. Elliott's flying, it demands precision, which sharpens his focus inside the car. Hamlin's poker game, it builds that strategic patience he needs to read the track and outthink his rivals. And Jimmie Johnson's triathlons, they build the raw, insane physical and mental stamina it takes to survive a 500-mile race.
So here's the bottom line. Their passions off the track are directly fueling their dominance on it.
These hobbies aren't some distraction, no way. They're a totally essential part of what makes them elite competitors.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? These drivers are defined by that competitive fire, whether they're behind the wheel or not. And it kind of leaves us with a question for ourselves, right? What's the hidden passion that fuels you?